Well, the Liberals have a really good post-secondary education policy. Number one, because we believe in the investment in post-secondary education. We really believe that's the future. So we're willing to put our money where our mouth is. And our proposal is to take 30% of the non-renewable natural resource revenues, oil and gas in other words, take 30% of those revenues and invest them in 4 different endowment funds. The first of those endowment funds is a post-secondary endowment fund. So that fund, you just keep putting that interest in there, and eventually it would grow to something, let me check my figures, $15 billion. So that would generate an extra $770 million a year, and that would augment the money that's already going into post-secondary. So what do you get out of that? You should be able to get lower tuition fees for students, better on-campus housing, renew the infrastructure that we have in our colleges and NAIT and SAIT and universities, etc. So there's no reason why we can't be a center of excellence. There's no reason why the U of A or the U of C or both of them couldn't be in the top 20 universities in North America. We have the money to do that in this province. We just have to decide we want to do it. So that's about investing in that post-secondary endowment fund. The other things that we're looking at doing are having tuition increases brought into the legislature, so they have to be legislated to increase, so we get that public discussion and public debate about whether that's appropriate and whether that's an appropriate amount. Right now it tends to be done more behind closed doors, and students are sort of told this is what it is, and I think it should be more of a public discussion, so we're very supportive of that. We'd also like to look at reducing the interest rates that's currently being charged for Alberta student loans, and I think we also would like to raise the part-time working amounts so that the clawback doesn't happen so fast. Personally, I wish we had a world where students didn't have to work in order to go to university. I'd like to see them experience that university experience, right? That's why there's on-campus clubs and extra stuff to do, but most students today are going to school full-time and they're working full-time, so it's a double shift. And I wish that wasn't the case, but I'll keep working on it. Some of the other stuff we're looking at is expanding the Alberta Opportunities Bursary by doubling the funding and also expanding the eligibility of it. Recognizing regional disparities and allocating student loans and bursaries. And I've talked to a number of students that are living in my constituency that came from smaller towns in Alberta, and they instantly recognized that that's something that they need, because they felt students in Edmonton and Calgary are kind of first at the door, so they were getting a lion's share, and we're attempting to make sure that this is better balanced across Alberta. And we also want to reduce or eliminate the property taxes for on-campus housing. And that, again, would help to bring those rental rates down, because housing is a huge issue for students. And related to that, the Liberals have been on record for a long time, and from those all-night debates that we did last year, as saying that there absolutely has to be short-term rent control until the market adjusts itself and we start to have people building new rental accommodation. There absolutely has to be rent control, and I think that would be very helpful to students. So those are some of the things. The rest of it you can read online at the Alberta Liberal website, which is www.albertaliberal.com, and the whole post-secondary education policy is there, so go and read.